Money makes the world go round, and unfortunately, we often feel miserable when we don't have said money in our pockets. What we don't realize is that we have the ability to influence not only the amount of money we make, but inevitably the amount of money we get to keep. So, having said that, I've looked at 5 problems that are keeping you and I poor, and not only in the spirit of looking at problems, but coming up with solutions. I've come up with 5 solutions that will assist us on a basic level so that we get to manage our finances accordingly. The first problem is that we lie to ourselves. Guys, ratishashaya, we lie to ourselves. It's tamelamang. And we do this in many potential ways. One of the ways is that we spend money on unplanned activities because in some way or another, we actually overestimate our next income when it's actually going to come in. So we spend the money not looking at the amount of needs that we have in our households versus the luxuries that we use on unplanned activities. Not only does that happen, but we also like rewarding ourselves for things that don't justify the amount of money that we actually spend because of our inability to earn back that money, but more so our inability to manage the money that we actually have. So, how do we solve this particular problem? Budgeting. That's the basic solution that we can use to solve the problem of us not managing our money well. And as primitive a solution as this sounds, it has been here since the beginning of time, if I'm not mistaken. As primitive as it sounds, the reason it's so long standing as a solution is because it actually works. Budgeting helps us track the amount of money that we make, meaning our income, but also our spending habits, the expenditures that come out from our bank account, from our activities, and through all other things that our money is actually allocated to. Budgeting helps in the allocation of funds for the things that we do love. That's why we need to budget. Budgeting allows us to allocate a particular threshold to the amount of activities that we actually want to do, be it the issue of hobbies, be it the issue of entertainment. Budgeting brings out that constraints, that limiting factor that's able to take us to the next level if we just manage the amount of money that we actually have. So stop lying to yourself. Track how much you make versus how much you spend, and then use that knowledge and information accordingly so that you get to the next level. Problem number 2 is that we lie to others. We generally do this and fundamentally do this because we want to impress other people. Not only impress them, in some situations, we want to appeal to them. Perception matters in the world that we actually live and thrive in. The perception we create by going on holidays we actually don't afford just because we want to be lively and appeal to others on the gram. Taking those necessary clips that we think are necessary to impress others and make them envious of our lives. But ultimately, we know what's actually going on in those very lives of others. We take our kids to schools that stretch our budgets immensely, and then we seek the solutions, unfortunately, when it's too late. Unfortunately, that comes with the consequence of wanting to take your child out of that school that you thought you could afford because umakhelwane was taking their child to that particular school. We don't know what other people do to get their money, and therefore we should not live in a shadow of other people that we don't know how they source their funds and how their income actually comes about. Kunoindaba zokuthwala, kuneindaba zokuthi people actually work hard and earn their due. There's also the issue of people getting inheritances that you may not get because you don't come from the same background that they come from. We live that impressing the Joneses syndrome, and it doesn't help us. This is a major problem. Another example of this is that we pop bottles, baby. We go to clubs, we go to entertainment pubs, we mingle with people that we have no business mingling around because our income bracket differs immensely. But when you are there and it's time for the bill, you don't want your ego to fall on the wayside. So what do? You try to mingle with those particular circles. Then we call it what? Networking. Unfortunately, you are trying to impress other people, but you yourself don't understand what you're about, the type of value that you bring into the world and to those very people that you are mingling with, but also the perception that you leave them with in case they actually find out all about your income bracket and what you can actually afford. So stop lying to yourself, as point number one had said. But problem number two, stop lying to others. It won't take you anywhere. So how do we solve this particular problem? Well, figure out what money means to you and formulate a plan for actually getting there. Define it. Money is a tool, a means to an end, not an end in itself. So define what money means to you. Is it about security? Is it about comfort? Is it about luxury? Is it about philanthropy or social impact? Is it about freedom? Is it about influence? Is it about power? You decide what money means to you. Once you have your answer, work on a plan for getting there. Acquire the necessary skills. Increase your learning ability, increase your earning ability, and eventually you'll be able to increase your money management ability. Problem number three is that we do not save. We do not save. Forgetting that many situations in our lives arise that need or require our immediate attention. From medical expenses, our car breaking down, the need to buy new tires, or those school-related expenses. Let me share an anecdotal experience. My daughter is now in grade 4. And one of the requirements there is that she needs a laptop and an iPad. And there's a specification on the type of laptop and iPad that you can purchase. So you don't just go to any supplier or retail store and buy the laptop that you think is best suited for her. You need to work on those specifications. When I got there, the specifications showed how expensive these tools are for her to proceed and progress in her schooling activities. Lucky for me, I had some money saved up, and that assisted greatly. Just giving you an example of what it takes to actually work through life because you saved. And so the list goes on. Saving is an essential. It's a fundamental tool that you'll have to use so that you are not caught off guard when that particular situation arises. So how then do we solve the problem of not saving? The solution here comes in 4 essential steps. The first one being that you must decide on your saving goal. Is it short term? Is it medium term? Is it long term? Is it for emergency situations? Is it for entertainment purposes? Or is it just to fulfill a particular goal or bucket list item that you actually have? Step number 2 is that you must decide the percentage of your income that will go towards those savings that you actually want. That percentage can be 5%. Generally, I encourage 10% of your income towards saving goals, but also it can be more than that. And for long-term goals, definitely 10% minimum of your income is what you need to save. Step number 3, then you need to actually choose the savings vehicle where you are going to save that particular money. Are you going to save your money in a 32 days account? Are you going to save it in a money market account? Are you going to go and consult your financial advisor or financial planner so that they provide a vehicle for long-term investments and savings? Are you going to actually use it in the form of a social club or a social investment club such as a stokvel? You then decide the vehicle. Look at elements such as how easy is it for you to get that money when you need it, but also how easy is it to lock it away so that it earns you more, even though the goal in this particular step is not necessarily for how much it earns you, but more so for you to have it at your disposal when you actually need it. And then the last part of this is simple. Actually action. Save that money. Don't play around with that money. Save that money. You've already gone through 3 steps. You've already identified 3 problems that are keeping you poor. So actually save that money and action this particular item. And the 4th problem is that we only have one income stream. We only have one source of income that makes us live the lifestyle that we're actually living. And to be honest with you, this one is not so much a problem as it is a limiting factor. What do I mean by that? I simply mean, for context, there is nothing wrong with having one income stream. The proviso is that you have to be a high income earner and you have to be relatively good at managing your finances. If that's not the case, as it is for the rest of us in society, well, then it means that you simply have to earn money elsewhere. Create a side hustle, as it were, a particular tool that will add passive income in your pocket in the long run. Work hard at it, Build the discipline necessary for that side hustle to earn you as much potential as it can. How do you do that? You increase your skill ability. You learn as much as you can. You grow in your circle of networks. You build up relationships where you need to build up relationships. You open a particular business as an income stream. All these things require you to be commitment, to have faith in what you're doing, but also to be smart in the decision that you're actually making. It's not just about hard work, but it goes way beyond that. It goes into aspects of being prudent, making the right decisions when you need to make them, being innovative, being smart and different from your competitors so that you stand out, and actually working with a narrow focus so that you don't do too many things at once, but you do go over and above the only income stream that you actually have at any particular point in time. So the solution to this is actually very simple. In other words, build your skill sets and then look at what the market demands. Are you good at tutoring students, maybe on a high school level, maybe in matric? Are you good at lecturing and public speaking so that you can be a lecturer part-time? Do you have an entrepreneurial mind or a business mind where you look at problems and then you provide solutions according to what the market demands? Can you be a swimming instructor because that's what you're good at? Can you be a coach at a particular high school for a particular sport? Look at what the community needs. Can you open a retail store that will be able to compete with the retail stores existing within your particular community? Can you open something that you can build up as a brand? I mean, the ideas are actually quite endless as long as you put your mind towards that particular thing. And remember, our risk tolerance is never the same. We are all different in the way in which we approach everything. So if you are risk averse, then rather start something on a smaller scale. Speaking of risk, number 5 is that we don't look at the long term. In other words, we don't invest. Now, in this world of social media, where we are bombarded with content constantly of particular schemes that will get us rich quick, unfortunately, the truth is the journey to building wealth, real wealth, true wealth, is that it's long term. So we need to actually be in a space where we make decisions that look at the long term. And building long term means investing your time, investing your money, and then investing your effort through hard work. So, how do we do this? The solution is quite simple. Visit a trusted source. Go to a well-informed financial advisor or financial planner or fiduciary. Go with them and seek an investment plan that is focused and that will need you to be determined and committed and disciplined for achieving long-term returns in the long run. Go into real estate and strive for deals that will give you passive income or earn you passive income for a prolonged period of time. Go into business, be an entrepreneur, serve the people and solve a problem that will result in you winning, a problem that is focused on intergenerational wealth as well as legacy building. But over and above that, go and focus on a retirement plan that will look at your needs, your specific needs, and actually attend to those particular needs. This is just a simple plan and formula. But hold on, I've got a bonus tip that will help you solve this problem of being poor or just being complacent with your current status in life. And it's simply this: read, 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 read. And in the process of me telling you about reading, let me plug actually 3 books that will assist in this regard. The first one is from a brother of mine called 𝐌𝐮𝐬𝐜 and his book is It's More Than Just Money: Tips on Escaping the Rat Race for Generational Wealth. I'm paraphrasing the title a bit, but 𝐌𝐻𝐬𝐜, It's More Than Just Money. The next one is What's Your Move by 𝐼𝐿𝐼𝐿 𝐔𝐬𝐞𝐝. I read this book. I enjoyed it. You can also see some of her financial lessons on YouTube so that you learn more from her. A collection of ordinary financial lessons. What's your move? So what's your move? Are you going to read and find out more? And the next book that I'd like to plug in is by Phumelele Ndumo, From Debt to Riches. I read this book a while back, if not 2018, but it's still on my shelf because I do want to revisit it again, as it deals a lot in managing your finances around the property market. So these are 3 South African authors that I leave in your hands. It's for you to read, to learn from them, and follow this channel if you want to learn more about a diverse number of subjects, not just finances. I have a financial channel that speaks to finances specifically. But if you want to learn beyond just finance, then I urge you to follow this specific channel, and it starts with you at the end of the day. So remember that. I love you. Cheers, guys.